Hi, and welcome back for another video. Again, really hope that these help you just kind of think about some things to help you organize your financial life so that you can just live a better non-financial life. So this video is all about how to avoid 3 mistakes that can really derail a retirement. And that doesn't matter because it means you have to wake up and go back to work again the next day. If we derail a retirement, it just really means missing out on all those very important things that we want to spend our time doing. Whether you're in pre-retirement or retirement, there are things and steps you can take actually to protect your ability to live that life that you want to live. They're easy to do. And after age 59 and a half, the government actually lets you even touch your 401k money. So hopefully this video will just give you some ideas on how to better arrange your finances so that you can live a better non-financial life. So these are 3 pre-retirement mistakes to avoid. This all stems from a conversation I had with a client in late 2021. And I do not ever blame anybody for the financial decisions they make. I myself have been investing since I had a paper route. I know all the mental traps we get caught up in. I know how we feel about our money. And at the end of the day, I know that actually making changes with money is very stressful for people. Even if they're changes with a ton of benefit, even if they're easy to do, it's still stressful to kind of move money around. So I get that. I met this client in kind of late 2021 and drew up a financial plan, and he was trying to retire from Boeing. And he was really relying on that Boeing retirement money, right? So that he could go spend time with his kids and grandkids. He couldn't be going into the salt mines at Boeing. So we were very much counting on a significant amount of money in order for him to retire and live the lifestyle that he wanted to live. So in late 2021, I said, hey, I see inflation ticking up. A bunch of money was just dumped onto the economy. I know how the Fed probably will react to that. Here's some things we can do because you are, again, over age 59 and a half, and we can remove some of that unnecessary risk from your portfolio. And at the time, he said, hey, that's great. Thank you so much. But I'm pretty happy with my 401k. And it's done pretty well for me. And that phrase is a phrase I'm very familiar with. I've been pretty happy this whole time. I'm familiar with it because I hear it all the time. And I'm familiar with it because in my own finances, when things are going well, I'm pretty happy with it. So again, I didn't blame this client. And he said, thanks, but right now I'm going to sit where I'm at. And I said, no problem. No problem at all. I'll circle back with you. Let's get back together when it's closer to retirement. Unfortunately, we all know what happened starting in 2022. Over around the next 9 months, the overall market declined about 25%. Now, he didn't suffer the full 25% loss because of the way he was allocated, but he suffered a significant loss. So his retirement timeline got pushed off. And that, to me, as a financial planner and in my firm, I just value the things that money can do for us, not the money itself. I thought it was terrible that now he had to put off those things like going to visit his grandkids out of state because we had lost so much money in the stock market. And we either had to remake it back or we had to wait for the stock market to recover. Oh, and again, if I haven't met you yet, I'm Chris Reed. I'm the owner of Capital Partners Wealth Management. And this video is just to help you maybe think about some things that could help you arrange your financial life to get you where you want to be a little bit easier. Now it's March of 2023, and we just moved some pieces on the board because his accounts were able to recover, and I kind of helped him through that. But I just kind of identified 3 things that I think are common to everybody, and they're easy to weed out of your financial plan, and they're easy to kind of get over when you're thinking about your finances, especially if you're approaching retirement. The first one is just concentration risk. Now, most standard 401ks have a suite of investments that you can choose from, and many companies issue stock grants. So especially for people who are at those companies who work there for a long time, they'll usually have a 401k that's semi-diversified in like a target date fund, and then they're going to have a high concentration risk of single stock. And that single stock is completely at risk. So now in March of 2023, with tech layoffs happening, with revenues going down, a lot of companies are changing their stock grants and a lot of stock prices have dropped. So having your entire financial plan built around the performance of one company, that's concentration risk, and that's something that's easily removed. The second unnecessary risk, honestly, is probably one of the most common and one of the hardest ones to overcome. And that's just complacency. And again, the United States stock market and economy is the engine of the world. It typically goes up. And couple that with the fact that our minds are geared to eliminate pain from our past, so rose-colored glasses, we tend to just look at our account value now, look at where it was before, and if we're pretty happy, we kind of assume that that's going to go on going forward. Unfortunately, there's no rule that says the United States stock market will always return a certain percent or will, quote unquote, always bounce back. There's no rule that says that, and there are ways that you can mitigate those risks without giving up all the reward of a good stock market. So those were my recommendations at the time, and now we've implemented them. And that sense of everything's going to be all right kind of drives how a lot of people arrange their finances. And it's something that just needs to be addressed by taking a look at where you're at and different things you can do. And then finally, it was just his mindset. His timing was, look, I'm going to retire in, I think it was March of 2022, so about a year ago. And he said, at that time, we'll get together and implement these steps. But especially for those of you who are over 59 and a half, you actually can implement those steps to protect your retirement before you retire. Again, I completely understand it. I know that I have timelines, I have stressors, I have kids to take care of, I have different things in my life that have to happen. So I want that timeline to keep me organized. But when you're talking about your money, if there's a move that you can make that can increase the chances that you actually get to where you want to go, you can make those changes and remove the risk that the market changes before you actually take action. So those are 3 easy things you can do to remove unnecessary risk from your overall finances and just make sure you make it to the finish line where you want to be on time, happy, and stress-free. So if you want to, go ahead and click the link below. I've got a link that if you're interested, there's a quick quiz you can take and we can give you a snapshot on how you're saving for retirement and what your retirement might look like. Thanks so much for watching.